we'll drop that.
Hello, Team Foodbank, and welcome to another edition of the Let Us Chat podcast. I am joined today by Chris and Teri, and this is our first one over at 618 South Street in Franklin. We're really excited to be here. We're chatting with Teri and Cliff today, and I hope that you guys enjoy. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Teri.
Okay. Well, welcome Team Foodbank to 618.
Thank you. That's awesome.
It's an exciting place to be. It's a busy place to be. There's never a dull moment. And I just love being here. I love what has happened since the opening, and we're just getting started. It's week 3.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So let me know, just talking about since the opening, we kind of all got pictures of that. What's happening? What's going on?
Well, we started the first week of October was when we first started serving. So we serve 8 times a month, most Tuesdays, all Thursdays, and one Saturday at the end of the month, the 4th Saturday of the month. So the numbers have grown every single service.
Wow.
So Tuesday the 25th, which is next Tuesday, we will be serving. We have appointments, and we do everything by appointments. We have 175 appointments to do between 10 and 3. Now, granted, our regular attendance rate is about 75 to 80% attendance.
That's crazy good.
But it's crazy good. Absolutely, it's higher and consistently that attendance rate. On Thursdays, which is really exciting, that's our 3 to 6 window of time to help folks who work to come in here. That we knew based on Jordan Newby's experience and Tiara's advice that was probably going to be a busy, and it is. It's growing. So we had 90 appointments yesterday.
Wow.
And we had about 77 folks show up, about 75% attendance rate. And then we're shopping this Saturday because, believe it or not, it is the 4th Saturday of October, and that will be our first Saturday, and we have 60 for that. So we're really excited.
Is it so compared to before we were here? You were still doing some of these, definitely.
Yes.
Was it that volume?
Not usually.
Okay.
We were only doing 3 a month. So the first, second, and fourth Tuesday was what we did before, because that's what the buildings and our bandwidth could handle. With this building, obviously, we've gone from 3 service days to 8, including a weekend and evening. So the numbers have been, in the old days, the number, we'd be really happy with 40 to 60 folks appointment times.
Mm-hmm.
And as you heard my numbers earlier, we're
That's
doing
amazing.
much better that. And I don't think we're stabilized yet. I think we're still going to have more and more people. Every time people come in with appointments on our service days, we're also registering people on site when they come in. And I will guarantee in the time that we are in here, my phone will have given me at least 15 to 20 calls, and most of them will be people wanting to register. So I'm registering people over the phone
just while we're in here
every day.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, because it's that popular.
Right.
I'm not popular. The program's popular.
I think you're popular.
popular.
I was here for the opening, and when I mentioned your name as just being thanked, there was like a roar of cheers. So I was just going to mention your name. Yeah, that's good. No,
I paid them in potatoes and carrots.
You're definitely more popular. So also, we were chatting a little bit earlier before. Talk about the second floor and kind of so some of the stuff that I was shocked at some of the stores you already have. So.
Yeah, so I'm so excited because when I do the tours and people have to tell me how long they have for tours, because I'm kind of like Cliff, we are so proud of this place and we can go on. So downstairs is all about food, and I always tell people upstairs is where the magic happens, because that is where we are tackling why people are downstairs, the root causes of food insecurity. So we have classrooms, computer labs, all that stuff upstairs to offer to our wraparound service community partners. So we've already had Virginia Legal Aid. We've had Virginia Career Works, which is through workforce development at the college. We've had Medicare Resource Center. My favorite story so far, week 3, is we are partnering with Mallory's favorite school, Virginia Tech, and their cooperative extension, their family nutrition program. Tia Powell is doing a 4-session workshop on eating healthy and being active. And for the first 2 sessions, one session she cooked right in the classroom as she's teaching. So she cooked black beans right in an Instant Pot. And the second week, she filled our building with the smells of sweet potatoes and apples and cinnamon. So she's cooking, they're sampling, they're learning these healthy recipes, they're getting healthy tips. We have 2 more sessions of that, and we continue to plan more of these sessions with family nutrition program. They also outfitted us with tons of posters, handouts, stuff, and displays downstairs. They're a great partner. But last Tuesday, which was only week 2, every single one of our rooms upstairs was full of partners. And we're just trying to grow that and see what that looks like as we go. And that's kind of really exciting.
Yeah, I think that the best part about this is the separation of floors, and so there's a very visual part of we're bringing you into the first floor to hopefully get some of you into the second floor.
Yeah.
And that's also by choice. Clearly, there's a choice model downstairs, there's a choice model upstairs.
Great.
But that's the stuff that I think is really looking at the dignity of the neighbor in need. And so it's so exciting. And I'm just awed that you have gotten that much participation this early.
I will tell you, the buzz is strong, and you saw it at the open house. We had people around the street, around the corner. Now, what I like to say is we've organized where our processes are good. Nobody stands outside anymore, even with 160 and 170 appointments.
Really?
Nobody stands outside.
Wow.
And that's because we have appointments, and that's how because we have that beautiful front space where people can sit, and that's where some of our partners come down and recruit while they're doing that. But there's also information there. So if somebody doesn't really want to talk to the Medicare lady, but wants some information, the stuff is there. So it is, everybody wants to be a partner with us. It's just a matter of, can we get them on the schedule? Bronco Federal Credit Union's doing financial literacy classes. We've got a partner, CERCAP in Roanoke, that's our housing partner that's working on, can they be here on a regular basis? It's just all the time. Everybody sees the power of this place and how it is a game changer.
Yeah, it's I hope that staff get to, if they didn't get to come for the opening, they get to come at some point. Mm-hmm. It is in the middle of this T of a street, if you will, and there's nothing else around it really. I mean, there's a church, that's about it. Mm-hmm. And I can't wait for the sign, because when you drive down this one, it's like an airline runway. You'll see that sign. That's all you're going to see. Yep. So it is amazing. And the best part, and I said this when I had to give a speech, is that, we built a beautiful building. We spent a lot of money, all that. But what you're listening to is what we really want to build, which is the relationships, right? 100%. So that's amazing. That's the best part about this building, despite the fact that it's got all new technology, beautiful touch screens, everything. It's the relationships. And thank you, Teri, for building.
It is. Thank you for letting me be here, because this is, I feel like I am in the right place at the right time, and everything I've done in all my other careers. This is my first nonprofit, but everything else I've done in all my career stops, I'm really able to leverage here, as well as being a local and being on the ground. It does mean I talk to people and give out my cards and give my phone number at the Walmart and the grocery store when I'm on the weekends, but that's a blessing.
So I will say, one of the underlying tones of this podcast is that we have UVA versus Virginia Tech. So talk to us about your UVA time, and then I'll give the adequate time for Virginia Tech to counter. So what UVA, let's hear about that.
Yeah, so my undergraduate work, I was lucky enough to go to the university that is not always mentioned in the same with my Hokie friends. But so I'm a graduate. I will not tell you what year, but my daughter is also a graduate of the university. But in all fairness, I did marry a Hokie. So we have a mixed marriage, and we support each other unless we play each other. And then there are bets on the line, and in football season only. He won't take me up on it in basketball. Yeah. But in football, I lose a lot.
We're a basketball school now.
Now you are, so it's getting a little more interesting. We won the ACC last year. Yes, they did.
Okay,
we won the national championship a year or so before, but everybody can grow. So, but it is fantastic that we have 2 universities like this in this school, in this state.
What did you study at UVA?
So my undergraduate degree was in English. I did go on to a master's degree in another state. So I have a master's degree in film and television from the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
Oh, and I'm
all
these ACC.
And I'm a huge Duke I was a huge Duke basketball fan, so
gosh.
I'm totally chaotic and psychotic, but I love ACC basketball especially. It's just fun. It's just really fun to have that as this time of year for football, and then I am March Madness, man.
Right. I love basketball. I'm a Carolina fan. Well, now I'm for 4 years, I'm an Auburn fan because my daughter's going there.
You do have to.
So I switched it, but I'll come back, I guess. I don't know. Who knows? But,
well, when I was in Carolina, I was there for Dean Smith's 700th game.
Yeah.
So I did genuflect and do all the things you do at Carolina.
That's awesome.
But
that's amazing.
And I miss Roy. So it's but it's great and equal time to Hokie.
Yeah, let's hear the Hokie side of that story.
I don't live in a house divided. My whole family is huge Virginia Tech fans, but 2 of my best friends went to UVA. Shout out to Josh and Mackenzie if you ever hear this. So I have a lot of respect for the school. I spent a lot of time there during college. It's only 2.5 hours away. Just go down 81, and we got to see a lot of each other. Yeah. I majored in marketing management. I did a lot in college with domestic violence and sexual assault awareness. Wow. So giving back has always been near and dear to my heart. So this job just kind of felt perfect for me. I could continue along, but I'm a diehard Hokie fan. And Daryl, one of our newest employees, have you met Daryl? He's a big UVA fan. Yeah. So you have.
Did he go to UVA? Do you know?
I don't think he did.
Okay.
I think
he can be a fan.
Dale's great. Dale runs the Jordan newbie facility.
Yeah. And one of our other Wahoos, just to be clear, is Priyanka. Shout out to Priyanka. Yeah. So we do the Wahoo thing a lot, and she's super sharp. I don't know whether she came that way or was molded by the university. But go Priyanka.
Yep, and Audrey's UVA.
Yeah,
right.
Wow, I'm really.
You're really. Yeah. I'm sure there are more tech graduates.
There was when I started. We had a couple more.
Yeah,
right.
That's right. Audrey on the team too. So.
Wow. All right.
Well, we work so well together.
Yeah,
we
do, and we're all on Team Foodbank.
So. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. So I guess the other thing that you said that I'm interested in is, all of the things that prepared you for this job. So talk about what you used to do.
The short version is I started in manufacturing. So I worked for Union Camp and International Paper and Human Relations and Human Resources and recruiting and hiring. So I did that for a long time. I actually put myself through college working in the mill, on the ground, in maintenance, in production. So
in Franklin.
And I loved getting paid $8 an hour to get dirty as a college student. Wow. I was one of the few girls that was hired and one of the few girls that.
Okay, so we'll just put a quick pause on that for a second. The smell of making paper is terribly nasty.
It is.
I can remember it as a kid, driving by. What makes? Do you know what makes?
Yes, I do.
Okay, awesome.
Because I'm second generation paper maker.
Okay, so what makes it smell?
So it's the north end of the mill is the pulp mill where the paper gets turned. It gets turned. All the chemicals come together. So what you're smelling is chemicals that come out of our recovery boilers and all that kind of stuff. So it is better now.
Yeah, I don't smell it hardly at all.
Well, now the IP does a different product. So when you smelled that in the old days, it was because we were doing white paper, printing paper. So there's bleachables. We did all bleach stuff. Some of the other plants do, cardboards and stuff that didn't have to deal with bleach. So what you were smelling was a lot of the recovery process because they saved 97% of all the water ever used in paper. So it was very resource sustainable, but very intensive. So they had to sustain that. We always growing up said, smells like money, because everybody else in town driving through said, how do you do that? We go, it smells like money.
Could you smell it in the plant?
100%. But you, depending on where you were in the plant too, because I worked both in maintenance in the paper mill and in our converting facility where they took the big rolls of paper and cut it into the paper you use in your copy machines, right? In a lot of those places you could not smell. There were other smells, but it was not that smell. So that was my first official foray into the working environment, and I learned a lot. I also was lucky enough in that experience to be part of 2 startup teams starting plants from the ground up. So I've leveraged that here, obviously. So I used to always say I had a once in a lifetime experience twice. Mm-hmm. So then I left International Paper and went to Paul D. Camp Community College on the workforce development side.
Nice.
And did 13 years as a trainer. So I would be an itinerant trainer, trained, went all over to areas, Smithfield Foods, doing corporate training, mostly the soft skill stuff, leadership, supervision, conflict resolution, communication, all of that stuff. I love to be a trainer. I trained with a partner. We did very unusual takes, because often we have a classroom of maintenance guys or supervisors who did not want to be there. So to get into their head, we had to connect, right? So I did that for 13 years, and I had the opportunity to go to Franklin City Schools as their first community and family engagement specialist. So, but again, I leveraged the fact that I knew these families. I knew this is my home. So we did that. Then COVID hit. So I could not go into homes. We weren't doing family nights at school. I wasn't working with community organizations to come into the schools. So I'm not, those of you who know me, I'm not good at sitting still. So I started volunteering at mobile pantries for the food bank. Never done that before. I did it to represent the schools.
Right.
And as many of you have heard my story, my life changed. It was an epiphany for me that I thought I knew what food insecurity looked like. I've been lucky enough not to be food insecure ever in my life, but I had worked enough in this area to know that that was an issue. But when I saw nurses, firefighters, EMTs, teachers in that line, I just said, wait. And you can't unsee that. So thank you, COVID. I don't know, but we can't unsee that. And so I just put it out there. I said, okay, universe, I'm going to keep volunteering. Right. But if I ever get an opportunity, I knew that boots on the ground and building on the ground was coming. And so here I am. So as my husband said, you did everything. It's time for you to do nonprofit. So this must be where you're supposed to be now.
Well, we are blessed to have you. So what a great story, and just amazing.
I just love being here. And it has been, I mean,
it's funny you say the thing about food insecurity, because at the CEO's conference, they ask all the new CEOs to stand up and, talk about, and some of the people that talked about being food insecure themselves. And I've been blessed in my life not to really have been food insecure, but the way that I describe it is, but I have children and I know what it's like to look at your child and not be able to do something for them that you want them. And I can't imagine if that was food. Yeah. I can't imagine if the basics of life is something I cannot provide for you. So that's what's inspiring about this work, is that you don't have to be food insecure to know the feeling of insecurity. We all have that, absolutely. And then to think of those insecurities were around the essence of life, I can't imagine. So we're blessed to have you. And
I'm touched every time I talk to people, new people especially, that are coming in, and they can't believe what we have downstairs and what we're providing for them. But then just you mean you're going to give me a box of food to take today? No. You're going to go pick what you want, not what I give you. And I had a lady in tears yesterday. She could not make it to the end of the month because of crushing medical bills. Right. And when I said, I'm going to let you shop today. Right. And she just said, you don't understand what you've just done. And I get more hugs and blessings than I probably deserve. So.
That's great.
It comes naturally to you, and I hope everybody listening gets a chance to meet with you and work with you and talk with you just beyond like Food Bank, because you are perfect for it.
Thank you. I want everybody to come. Anytime anybody from Team Food Bank wants to come to 618, call ahead, because I might be out at a mobile pantry, because we're still doing 8 mobile pantries a month as well, and CSFB and TFAP, and I do speaking engagements and all kinds of things. So we do a lot of things, but it's just the best work ever.
Yeah. Well, you can, I'm sure, hear from, her energy. It's hard to maintain that, and it's also hard to keep up with that.
All right. So I think we're going to transition over. Like I said, I hope people get to know you better, because there's a lot of great things to get to know. So Chris, I'll turn it over.
Mallory, we did this the first time with yours, and I just wanted to come up with 10 questions. You and I are old enough, I think, to remember these questions from inside the actor's studio, and also
yes.
Will Ferrell imitating the guy from inside the actor's studio.
Yes.
We have changed them a little
Good,
bit.
because there's a couple of those questions that we
would not be able to say on the air. Right, exactly. So, what is your favorite word?
Favorite word, I would say, in this very moment is connection.
Okay.
And because I think that's what we have to do in this work, no matter what you're doing. And it kind of, so now I'm going to cheat and slip a couple other words in there. But
Sure.
I think if you do the connection,
Right.
then you can get the collaboration.
Yeah.
And you can get the commitment. But if you don't connect with people, whether it's a partner, a donor, a teammate, a neighbor shopping, you're not going to get the other two. So to me right now, everything's about, it always has been in my whole career, anything I've done, it's been all about connecting with people. So right now, I would say my favorite word is connection.
Great answer. What is your least favorite word?
No.
No? Nice.
From any other person, and I also, full disclosure, have a real hard time saying it myself.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
But I also don't like no or variations of, well, we've always done it this way, so we can't do it the new way.
Right.
I'm not good at no.
Okay. What makes you happy?
Seeing my two adult children. One is just turned 9. My baby son, who's not a baby, turned 19, and my daughter is almost 26.
Wow.
What makes me happy is they are close and they are friends. And
That's
my
cool.
evil plan as an early mom, when we only had one, and I convinced my husband that we needed two because they needed each other when we were going to be gone. The plan is all coming together, and they are close, and that brings me so much joy.
That's great. You know what's funny is one of your answers was how close you were to your sister.
Yeah.
I love that. I have 4 children, and one is much younger than the other 3.
Yeah.
And I was not to get in. This is not about my favorite words,
okay.
but like that is my worry with him. It was when he was born.
Yeah.
Now that the way they connect is so much different. But yeah, that's a great answer. I love that answer.
And my kids are almost 7 years apart,
awesome.
and it's a girl and a guy, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, sure.
But now they speak a language of youthful stuff and popular culture that I can't even touch.
Absolutely.
So I just let them do that.
Yeah, that's a great answer. What makes you unhappy?
When I can't fix someone's problem,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, and that's a lot to carry, to that you think you can fix everybody's problems, and I don't think I'm Superman, but I always like to look at a problem and try to find the solution. And so much of what this work is about is that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have overcome the fact that I personally will not solve hunger by myself, and that's okay. But what I see is progress towards solutions with downstairs, upstairs at 618 on the Eastern Shore in Norfolk. All of that are solving problems, but I don't like it when somebody comes to me and I can't fix their problem.
What sound or noise do you love?
Again, I guess I'll reference my 19-year-old son who knows everything and is still at home. But when he and I are together and he laughs, he is a very large man. I always say he's my mini me, but he's not a mini anything. And he is a big guy and he laughs. And when it's just a true free laugh, I mean, everybody talks about baby laughs and all that stuff. And that was great when they were babies. But he's a big man. And when he laughs, it is just mama heart explode kind of thing.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah. What sound or noise do you hate?
Well, and I hear it a lot here, unfortunately. I don't like alarm, sirens,
Okay.
fire, ambulance, police, because that usually means something is happening that's bad.
Yeah.
And because of our proximity to the fire department,
I
our police department, which is right down the airport runway, right? We hear a lot of that, and I have always done this. Anytime I hear that, I stop. Now it just happens a little because we're on a main drag, so that's going to happen. Yeah. And I'm always just prayerful that when they get there, they'll be able to fix the problem.
Yeah. What is your favorite food?
That was really struggling. I was afraid you're going to ask that. Well, there's so many. I've always been a foodie. I love to cook. So that's another fantastic connection here. I love sharing recipes. I like learning recipes. Favorite recipe. Wow. Favorite food. I think I would start dabbling in the really good classic hamburger. And I know that's not always the healthiest thing in the world, but my husband makes a great hamburger. My son's birthday was this week, and his favorite thing is a really good hamburger.
So what makes a great hamburger from your
I think it's really quality meat. You do not have to season it. It's, salt, pepper, garlic, whatever. And then the toppings of your choice. The other thing I like is we're back to choice again, but people can take a burger and make it their own. And recently I had a pimento cheeseburger that was ridiculous. At UVA, it was very popular to have a one-eyed cheeseburger, and the one eye was an egg, so you get that beautiful fried egg on the top becomes its own condiment. So I would say I don't eat them a lot, but we're a little bit snobby about where our burgers come from. My son says Dad makes the best. So
all right. What is your least favorite food?
I use this example all the time, and I don't like beets now because growing up, we ate, and I grew up in the 70s, and my mom served canned beets. And I was forced to eat, you don't leave the table till you do that. So I use that in my examples when I talk about client choice. And I said, if we have beets in here and you don't like beets, you don't have to have them. We got beets yesterday. And, but I am now more open to things that I didn't think I liked, and get great recipe ideas from not only my volunteers, but my neighbors who shop. So I got a great recipe yesterday to try a roasted beet thing. So we have beets. I'm going to the store, and maybe I can overcome the beet.
My gosh.
I don't know. I'm not promising.
Okay. Yeah, that's all right. You're allowed to have a least favorite food. We're not at the Foodbank. We're not required to have like every food.
Right. I hope not.
Yeah. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
So in my spare time, I currently am the Franklin High School theater director.
Really?
I do high school theater in the most basic way, because they don't have classes during the day. We do this all after school and at night. And we're currently in competitive theater season, so we do that as well. I think I would love to be in the arts, particularly theater. I'm not sure I would want to be a director, but I love directing these kids and sharing a little bit of what I do and seeing what theater helps young people, especially high schoolers, do that they don't even know it helps them do. Communication, collaboration, listening, all of that. You can't do theater even halfway well if you're not doing that. So I think I'd like to be in the theater some form or fashion.
Wow.
Maybe not a critic, although I like to write, but I would get to go see everything.
So you're doing this in addition to your job. You're at night.
I leave here typically and go right to the high school, and we rehearse 3 or 4 nights.
What is competitive theater?
It is the weirdest creature ever. So it's just like it's sponsored by Virginia High School League, like all the sports.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Virginia High School League has sports and activities. So theater is one of those. So we have a season. So it's always the fall. We pick a show. This year we're competing against 4 other high schools, and we're actually hosting the first level of competition. So it's like district and thing and states. So you get
you're the home team.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Okay. So, but we're hosting it. So if you can imagine a football coach coaching their team, hiring the refs, watching the box office, that's what we do when we do competition. So every show is different. We have 3 judges, which I have to find too. So we have 4 judges actually that come and have a rubric, and every show is different. We have a 35-minute time limit, and people come in and see the show, but the judges there give us ratings.
Are the judges like experts?
Yes.
Okay.
And they have to have some theater. They have to be approved.
I was going to say, that's role, Mallory. You got it?
Yeah.
No, okay.
So,
did you know there was competitive theater, Mallory?
To be honest, no.
I didn't know either.
knew Teri did this.
Yeah,
and I
you
just
did.
always wondered how you have the energy
And
I
it's
know.
well, it's
And
actually
you don't have any high schoolers, right? Like so,
not anymore. Nope. And my son went to the governor's school in Petersburg for theater, but I don't have any kids.
So what is
here.
your play or your?
So the current play we're doing is called Jack in the Box. It's 35 minutes, or 30 minutes. That's the limit for competition. And we will do that for the judges on November 5th with the other 4 schools that we will host, and it will be a theater festival. So it'll be back-to-back shows.
They're not all doing Jack in the Box.
Nope, they're all one's doing Flowers for Algernon, and one is doing a self-written. The director wrote the play, so it's all kinds of levels. The top 2 teams will go to the next, which is a regional, and then the top 2 there will go on to states. We were very lucky and worked really hard and had a lot of lightning in the bottle last year because we made it to states. We played second. We were always the bridesmaid every time, and we got to states and competed, and we're always competing against schools who have theater.
I was going to say, Franklin's not a big school,
we're
right?
tiny.
Yeah, that's amazing.
We compete against teams who have classes every day in theater and theater arts. We don't. We got a hack director, and we're doing the best we can.
Clearly not.
But we have a lot of fun, and the kids really work hard, and they're all athletes and they're academics, and everybody at Franklin High School, all the kids, and it's always been that way because that's my alma mater, is they always do everything. So it's not just the jocks and the theater kids and the nerds, it's everybody does everything. So we do have to compete with theater and sports and all that stuff. But so we'll do that November 5th.
Okay. That's amazing. I just think that's crazy.
I'm not shocked that you guys do so well because you're involved.
Right.
Well, and they have
someone like you to look up to, and they want to.
But I mean, it's still like
it
feels like a David and
so
Goliath
cool.
there, because Franklin's a very small
100%.
school.
And we've been competing for a long time. This is the first time ever that we got to state finals.
Awesome.
The last time we got anywhere close to that was in 1995. It was not me directing at the time, obviously, I hope. But it's so subjective. I have a love-hate relationship with it because it's not. I mean, it's subjective. It's not like the ball was out or that it was not.
Right. So. Yeah. Okay, last question. What profession would you not like to attempt? I can remember Mallory's if you need more time. Mallory's
tell Mallory.
I think Mallory's was airline pilot. Is that correct?
No.
What?
I think mine was like a medical.
Medical.
Yeah.
Maybe your other one was airline pilot. No, maybe not.
I said earlier I won unlimited airline tickets.
That would be true too.
Okay, that was medical. You're right. That's right.
Well,
exactly right.
It's funny you mentioned medical because I went to school. I went to UVA fully planning to go to medical school.
Oh, wow.
That was my plan because as young as 10 years old, I knew I wanted to help people. And the way I saw that was a doctor, right? Mm-hmm. But then I hit organic chemistry and it hit back and I decided to do something different. So I don't think I would be very good at like a corrections officer or jail matron. I think
That's a great answer.
I would be.
That's a great answer.
I just think I would be terrible at that.
You don't like saying.
I don't like saying no.
Right.
I don't like, even though people who are there probably put themselves there with bad decisions. I think I would be the first one to go, well, maybe you could get out a little bit. I would be terrible at that. I think I would be super terrible. I also hate myself being in a box. If you want to kill Teri, give me a job where you put me in a cubicle with Excel spreadsheets. I will die. Okay. So being out and about, so seeing people, human beings, whether they put themselves there or not, that would be terrible for me.
That's a very unique answer. That's very creative. I mean, I would have gone a long way before I got to that. So that's awesome.
Is that our question?
Yeah, that's it. That's the 10.
Awesome. This was amazing, Teri. I mean, I think we could do like a part 2, 3, 4, 5 with you.
I told you need a hook. I could keep going.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed this. I feel like I was
awesome.
Just looking at you smiling.
It's nice to be in Western Tidewater again, too.
Oh, it's so good to have everybody. And again, Team Foodbank, please come to Western Tidewater. Come to 618. You can come on a shopping day. You can come any day that you're scheduled. Just call me, so make sure I'm here. But thank you for the opportunity to be on Let Us Chat. This is so cool.
Awesome.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.